It's a big question in life. What happens when we die?
There is a life after death. I've actually experienced it.
The evidence I've been given is just unbelievable.
You live on, you don't die. Hope that's true.
I'm a bit two minds at the moment, so that's why I'm going tonight too, just to see.
Over 1,000 people have come here to see medium Gordon Smith deliver messages from the dead.
I have a gentleman in the spirit world. Now, why are you saying that? I want to go back just about 3-4 years ago, because I know I'm going back in and around that time for this young man. I don't know how he passed, but I do know the last sensation he had, it was his head. This is what he's showing me, and it's the back of the head.
Yes.
Can you understand that, sir? I don't know who Stephen would be, sir, but the name is Stephen. Does that make sense? That's fine, because he's just written it up like that. Tell him Stephen, okay? Has someone got a season ticket for Ibrox? A medium is someone who has the ability to communicate with the conscious minds of folk who have passed away. And the purpose is to help to uplift and heal the bereaved. It's quite simply that. Right, because I don't know what happened. There was something to do with tickets where we couldn't get some, or we couldn't get to a match. Or...
I left it in the washing machine.
Oh, right, that's fine.
He gave me Stephen, that was one of the friends' names. He told me about when I put my season ticket in the washing machine. And I think my other friend Michael, she didn't give his name, but that was just the kind of type of sense of humour he had.
I want to go back maybe about 15 years ago for this gentleman's passing to the other side.
My father.
It's your father in the spirit world. Right. He's given me a small bottle of holy water. Would that make sense to you? This holy water, I feel, was actually collected from Lourdes. Would that make sense?
I've known Gordon for some years, and it seems to me that there is no doubt that he has a psychic gift, that he can obtain information that he simply could not have obtained through the normal five senses.
There's a lady here, and yes, all right, the name is Kathy Shaw. Can you understand who Kathy Shaw would be?
Yeah.
All right.
Gordon Smith doesn't beat about the bush. There's no fishing, there's nothing. I have a name here beginning with J. He'll say, I've got Jeanette here.
Bill's here, and he died with, he had a pleurisy, okay? Right.
He'll give you information, time, date, place, sometimes often, the name of the person who's departed, the method of their dying, and also possibly pieces of information that you don't even know and you've got to go away and check.
Can I take you to Hotspur Street?
Yes.
Would that make sense to you? Somebody just says Hotspur Street, as though that would have a meaning to you. And I've also got to say to you, yes, all right then, bless you. I want to go to South Portland Street in the Gorbals. That would make sense as well.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm doing well, street to street.
Gordon Smith is a very, very good medium. They are very few and far between, and all mediums are certainly not as good as Gordon Smith.
Gordon, however, chooses not to make a living from his psychic abilities.
I don't feel it's right for me to make money from it. As a medium, I just can't do that. I prefer to earn my living as a barber. How does that feel?
Superb.
I try to keep both worlds apart, and I really don't want that mediumship to encroach on my everyday life. Number 2 backsides and short rows. I would hate to think I was cutting people's hair and their relatives were coming through and speaking in my ear, probably advising me to cut their hair shorter or something like that. No, I wouldn't like that. I was brought up in Springburn in Glasgow, Balornock actually, and there were 7 of us in the family, and I was the 7th. Actually, I was the 7th son of a 7th son. Apparently that means something.
He would speak about things, you know, like our granny, you know, which, I mean, she died a few years before I was born, so I mean, I don't remember her, but Gordon spoke as if how she looked and things that she did, you know, and through time my mum just accepted it and said, oh, he's just a wee pest, you know, he just can't keep his mouth shut.
All through my childhood, but now when I think back, there was various experiences that I had, just hearing people's voices that apparently weren't there, seeing lights around people, auras and stuff like that. I just assumed that everybody had a light around them. I must have been 7 or 8, around about that age, and I was in the garden playing. It was broad daylight, And a friend of my mother and father's just came along the street. He just seemed to be there. It's hard to explain because he just sort of appeared. To me, it was natural. There was nothing bad about it. He was just a man. And when I ran indoors to tell my mother, she was shocked because they had just buried this man the week before.
It wasn't until later in life that he began to take his visions more seriously.
When I was in my middle 20s, I had one experience when a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, her brother died in a house fire. And it was the early hours of that morning when he died that he actually appeared in my bedroom. And he just was standing there, and he was as solid and three-dimensional as I had seen people when I was a child.
I didn't really know about Gordon's vision as he had that morning until a bit later. I had great difficulty accepting my brother had gone. I just couldn't. He was a huge influence in my life. And I'd heard about spiritualism, I'd heard about clairvoyance, I'd heard about life after death. And that seemed to be what I needed at that time. And I asked Gordon, I want to go to a spiritualist church, please take me.
I first went to the spiritualist church really with Christine, finding out that there was a very good medium coming to Glasgow that weekend, Mrs. Mary Duffy. And we went along to see Mary, and she immediately picked up on Christine's grief.
The message came from my mother. She described how my mother died and basically told me that I had the strength to get through this. And then she stopped the message because I was so upset.
She stopped and said to me that, you know, she says, young man, she says, you are a medium, do you know this? Well, I thought, no. Although it came back to me, all of these things were opening up, but she did tell me, she says, within 5 years you'll be standing on this very platform doing what I'm doing. And actually it was within 5 years I was standing on that very platform doing what she was doing. So some forecast clairvoyance then from dear Mary. I have a lady here, and she must have been maybe late 40s when she passed to the spirit world. Her name is Rose, or Rosemary, and I feel that she wants to talk to her mother. Is there somebody here who... Can you understand that, my dear?
Yes.
All right. If I go back some 8 years ago with you, can you understand that? Going
yes.
Back about 8 years ago for the lady's passing. And
no, it's 6 years. It was 8 years before when she was started to take ill.
All right.
6 years passed just in the...
Right, well, don't tell me anymore. It's my job to tell you. All right.
Gordon mainly practices his mediumship within a spiritualist church. For members of this religion, life after death is a matter of faith, and Gordon is invited to services across the UK to give messages from the spirit world.
Where it differs from the Orthodox churches, you know, after hymns, prayers and such, you will have a spirit communion. Gracious Spirit, once again we humbly come before you, and we ask you this night, as always, if it be thy divine will, we may be allowed to make that communion with our friends and loved ones in the higher side of life. The medium will hopefully open their mind and allow their own sensitivity to bring through the relatives and loved ones who wish to pass information from the spirit world back to them. I have a gentleman, and I feel as though he's not that long gone into the spirit world. I feel as though I want to be where someone has recently attended, it's a cremation.
Yes.
Would you understand Edward?
Oh, yes.
It's definitely you, my dear.
Edward, actually, but he was called Eddie.
I enjoy it. It's a bit like being allowed to express something that's natural in you. I don't know what, he's talking about mending. I don't know what he means.
He mended all my sins.
Yeah. So I'm just a postman, I just deliver messages.
I don't know how or in what way we go on, but I do believe that we go on after we die.
When we die, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see, or more probably wait and not see.
If I find that I no longer exist, I'll be very much surprised.
It doesn't occur to me really, the dying thing, and that's actually quite a strange one. I don't even think about dying very rarely.